What's up, YouTube? This is Shalab back with you. I'm glad to be back with you on a wet, nasty, icky, rainy Tuesday on the East Coast. But regardless, I'm here to talk about, again, Supreme Court nominee Judge Kavanaugh. So in this video, I just want to expand a little bit now because this is something that I was thinking was going to happen, and yet it did. So if you don't know already, a second so-called accuser has stepped up to claim that Kavanaugh exposed himself to her as well. So now we have a second allegation of sexual misconduct against Judge Kavanaugh. I believe this is more garbage. It's a lie. But this is the way that this so-called Me Too thing, I don't even like to call it a movement because it's not really a movement other than to really destroy people's lives in the fact when it comes down to people like Kavanaugh at this point in time, when it's weaponized to go after a political opponent that you do not like. So the second accuser, I think it took her about 6 days before she can come to some conclusion to say, yeah, I think it was him. She reached out to some of her friends and colleagues, and no one could corroborate this story for her. She can't even say that, yes, this was him that did this to her. Of course, she was drunk. There's big gaps in the time frame from when it so-called happened. Nonsense. Again, so basically it's not an endorsement or like, oh, here we go, there's more allegations or there's more legitimate claims. The first claim is not even legitimate. So I don't know if you know what the first claim with Christine Ford, the professor, who we know is an activist, who we also know that the attorneys representing her are also activists for the resistance, if you don't know that by now. Yeah, I think her name is Debbie. Debbie, don't have the last name. Either way, I think I mentioned her in the last video. Like, did you see what her attorney looks like? Yeah, that lady apparently is part of the resistance. So this is just highly political. Because remember, if you are a victim, of a crime, why not go report the crime? Why the first time when you believe that you want to say something, you never actually make an official police report. You actually give this information to a political party, not law enforcement, not an organization that can address your claims and actually get you justice. You give it to a political party, and then it goes to a newspaper like the Washington Post. So if you did not want this information to get out, or, it's alleged that you did not want to speak to anyone, why out of all places would this go to a political party? Why would you want a political party to be involved in something that is so sensitive and so personal? Why would you want that on public display? Allegedly, if you wanted to so-called remain anonymous. Why didn't letters like this go to Republicans? And as we know right now, I'm still not sure if they've even seen a full letter because it was redacted. So what are we going by? The other real problem I have is, some will say, I don't know if you guys just heard, Bill Cosby has been found guilty. I think they gave him 3 to 10 years. The headline was enough for me. I didn't read the article. You can pick it up anywhere. It is top headline news right now. Buzzing going on. Bill Cosby's been found guilty, 3 to 10 years. There is talk that Me Too started off with Bill. Allegedly, that's when the movement started. But obviously, he's been found guilty, so he's guilty, right? So moving from there, one thing I realized with this is that, I think about what Dave Chappelle said on his video on Netflix, and Dave Chappelle was talking about how Me Too, some of those women, it had to do with buyer's remorse. Maybe this wasn't, an ideal candidate. This wasn't the guy that you wanted to really be with. or you just decided that, all right, we'll see how it goes. And then maybe it was a horrible experience that you regret, that you probably get like bad visions of, it leaves a bad taste in your mouth, and you're like, gosh, I wish I never did that. But you participated in that. And maybe you were exploited, but you were a willing participant at some point in time. So I can't speak for everyone. I'm not a victim of a crime, of a sexual assault. But I thought it was funny that Dave Chappelle said buyer's remorse. And for me, being a woman, when it comes down to a sexual experience for women, I think whether a sexual experience be good or bad, we remember, we know. So the fact that this woman, Christine Ford, can't remember anything and she doesn't know what happened, I think it's bullshit. It's pure garbage, because there is no way that you do not remember. I also know that they say for victims, they block certain things out of their mind, psychologically, emotionally, they block it out, and then they're able to remember later on. But she's even challenging her own therapist. Like, the therapist, she actually did, by the way, sit down with her therapist and kind of recite this unpleasant experience, right, that she had. But she said there was 4 people there. But, the therapist put down 4 people. Now, Christine Ford is saying that it's only 2 people and that the therapist must have made a mistake, that the therapist was wrong. Doctors, physicians who have to sit down and take notes, don't make big mistakes like that. I mean, if you're in a session, you're sitting down, they're listening to you, they're engaged, they want to get the story, the full picture, because that's how they're able to make diagnosis or recommendations to you based on the information that you offer. So the doctor puts down 4. She claims the doctor didn't know what they're talking about. Now it's 2. And when do you get to make all these demands about when you're going to testify, how you want it to be, who's going to be there, who goes first, who goes next? Are you in a position to be dictating things? I really don't think so. Nonetheless, how politically convenient that everything else hasn't worked. That now we are trying to stop Kavanaugh by all means necessary. Oh, now they're protesting. They just shut down Ted Cruz. So Ted Cruz kind of had to get out of a restaurant because he had these people yelling in his face. These are organized protests. These people are being paid to protest. That's what they're doing. I think it's atrocious. I think it's disgusting. I think the first mistake the Republicans made was to even entertain pushing this date to Monday. Now, all of a sudden, the night before Monday comes, it's a new person involved. Delay, delay, delay. It's a tactic. It's being strategically done. It was coordinated. They delayed to wait around until the next so-called Me Too popped up to say, yes, this person did this. I think it's disgusting. I think they are demons. These people are demons. You hear some people talk about a true spiritual war. These people will do any and everything to get their way. They lost. Now it's just like throw as much around as they can. He has a family. He has a wife. His children already had to be subject in a courtroom to listening to these protesters saying these horrible things about their father. And he has a brilliant record. A brilliant record, and has supplied the most documents in comparison to any of these other Supreme Court nominees that came before him. And now he's being dragged through the court of public opinion as a result of these dirty, filthy, opportunistic Democrats who want to stay in power or who want to regain power. This is why I've made videos and I talked about and I've kind of only noted my support for Trump. I don't lean one way or the other because, as you can see, you have these weak, spineless rhinos, Republicans, who are not doing what they're supposed to be doing. who are actually giving pushback saying, oh, wait, maybe we need to wait, because these claims are serious. Yes, the claims are serious, but from a legal perspective, it's null and void. It's over with. It's not going to stand. There's no court. There's no case. So what is it? It's a smear. It's all to smear a record. You know it. You guys are lawyers. That's how you got in the majority of your lawyers in Congress. You know the law. You're the lawmakers. Now you're backing. You're moving back. Oh, wait. You're all cautious and we're not going to do this and we're not going to do that. We have to take our time. So obviously you have a party of some never-Trumpers still there. The swamp is dirty, it's grimy and filthy. And it involves both parties because they work together. They bring their slime together. All right? And that's how corruption and the establishment and the same old boys network stays in place. So I would hope for midterms that we continue to see a red wave. I know that there was a Congress seat just won in Texas that went to a Republican that hasn't been red in 139 years, I believe, which is good news. But this also just tells people that you have to be motivated and get your butt out and vote and make sure that you are supporting the things that you went out there and you voted your candidate Donald Trump for and you want to see go through. It is so important. It's so crucial that at the state and local levels that people turn out to vote. Okay? So make sure you vote, guys. I've said enough. This is annoying to me. I'm still going to say here that Kavanaugh is going to be confirmed. As the records of these fake activist lawyers, apparently there's now all these big shot lawyers that are coming on board. Where does she get the money from to pay for them? But this is what's happening to so-called represent her. This is supposed to go down Thursday. We'll see if she shows up, what happens, or if they end up letting the other lady who claims she got flashed and she saw something. We'll see if they allow her to come in and speak as well. Very, very annoying. Okay? Sexual experiences, whether good or bad, women, we remember. We remember well. We remember all details. We remember when, how, when we made up our mind and we decided that we were going to do something. We don't forget. Not at all. So anyway, love you all, guys. I'm checking out. I will be in touch, probably reporting after Thursday's hearings, or at least once the opportunity presents itself. Love you guys. Miss you. Thanks for tuning in. Of course, as always, if you like my content, you like my video, you want to spread the word, share me, like, subscribe, and I will see you guys soon. Thank you.